bitch.
If conservative came back into power where they are where they're allowed to march alive, kill people without immunity, do you think it'll be a lot of black people? Do y'all think so?
If you saw where we were from, you know how far Franklin made it. Me too, shit. Just a different route. What can I get you? Keep your eyes open.
Who told you to stop playing?
Or not? You think that they would have got a lot of people together? Y'all fight. We will become illegal. Purged. For sure. Absolutely. It wouldn't be no queer people. They call them gender traitors. So, of course, the gays would be dead. Her, her suffering in contrast to June, it makes her feel like she is, she's like, she has a long, to me, what Serena represents is this like kind of long history of white women wielding their positionality as both oppressed and oppressor. And this depiction of Serena is a clear depiction of somebody who is privileged and oppressed. Like they both, she is the oppressor, and she oppresses people. Like they literally, you literally holding women back when they get raped. Just like white women during slavery and Jim Crow. Serena benefits from and upholds a system of brutal control over other women. Um, but she simultaneously garners the sympathy because which have they kind of own restrictions. Her participation in Gilead kind of, with the enforcement of laws, um, and and bending the rules, bending the rules to fit her narrative. Because if you remember, she loves to play like I'm this upstanding wife following the rules of Gilead. But when you was having Nick have sex with June because you knew your man was sterile, when you weren't worried about breaking the rules when you were trying to have this baby, so you can raise a baby. So you don't really care about rules until it benefits. If it doesn't benefit you, this is like the rules. You don't mind breaking the rules when it benefits you. Super, super wielding oppressor, and that kind of fake churchy shit that motherfuckers do. Perfect representation of how motherfuckers will do. Like, and it's not just women, but definitely white women. The men too. Like, Y'all love to follow everybody follow these godly rules, but then y'all done created the Jezebel.
Hello, chum.
Y'all don't
It's your
really
old
care
friend
about the rules.
indeed
This
here.
ain't got nothing to do
Now,
with the
kind of
rules.
music looked to be about two
With
tempo
the
shifts away from a
God and the
serious
religious
wobbling.
part of it.
We need a big...
You are just trying to hold on to power and keep power. This ain't got nothing to do with the rules. Thumbs up if you're watching. This ain't got nothing to do with the rules. So, I know, like in the past, and what's crazy is we see it in the show. White women's pain has always been used as kind of like a propaganda tool. Their pain or their subjugation has always been this kind of tool to be like political narrative to justify violence against other people, other women. We are we are protecting the chastity of white women's womanhood by making sure she's not taken over and raped by the group that is black men, or influenced by the over hypersexual sexual nature of black women, and having them. And if you remember back in the cover their heads because they were getting too fancy. And they needed something to distinct them from white women and make sure that they're not in the upper class. And so the law was black women could not have their hair out. And so they had to have it in headdresses and blah 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 blah. And that is a propaganda policy, blah blah blah, to keep white women in one place and black women in another.
Mm.
These are just historical examples. And
Mm.
Okay.
always
So,
been, and
are
this
you
is just
ready?
the sanctity
This should be
of
pretty
society.
easy. I've kept it simple since you all seem
You get what I'm saying?
pretty
They always
simple
made it seem like it was to keep the
in a
sanctity.
good way. In a good way. In a good straight ahead, low IQ kind of. Oh no, let's do. Stop it. It's the new meds. Okay, armed robbery. Here we go. Whew. Here it is. Keep it simple. You go in heavy. You go in well armed. Some of you will do crowd control. The vault team will go downstairs, blow the first vault door with the thermal charges. Then use the card to get into the network and open the second vault door.
Also,
And then
Sabrina,
look
the
out,
thing about Sabrina
because you'll have about 2 minutes before every cop in town is waiting for you outside the bank.
as a trans
So
woman,
you move fast. You get on the bikes. You split. And we
you're
meet
not
at the rendezvous point. Okay? Good luck, people.
reproduction
Nothing
and
can go
baby
wrong.
making is thrown in our
Good.
face because you don't have a vagina, you can't make babies, you're not a woman. Me, as a trans woman who wasn't born with a vagina, I don't have investment in having babies in the way that somebody maybe born with a vagina might have. Child, I don't care about no baby. I don't want no period. Y'all fucking leave me for 7 days or less or whatever every month. I don't want none of that shit. That's something I ain't never wanted, ain't never desired or ever be like, girl, I don't want none of that. And so having babies, that just never has been something I'm super invested in. So when people try to hit you with, you ain't got no period, you ain't got no babies, I'll be like, girl, I don't want that. I don't want that. But somebody that is a cisgender woman who has a vagina that can't have babies, I can only imagine that. Oh my God, I was born with the parts. I was born with the parts. Why is this shirt giving me wear me out? um, I was born with the parts, and I can't have a baby. I can imagine for an insecure person in a society that has put women in a position where your only value to society is to have babies, and you can't have one, especially a super patriarchal society. Like you, like they in a patriarchal society, like your job as a woman is to have babies and to be a mother and to, you know what I'm saying? That is the stuff that you are supposed to do. And you can't do it? Like that, to them, when they talk about motherhood, that is a woman's job. Like, that is your job, darling. Like,
Where did I put my glasses, bitch?
privilege, and they turn motherhood into this magical thing
Get
that
glasses.
is divine and it's the greatest gift in the world. While simultaneously saying that it is a punishment, Eve's punishment. You got a period and labor pain because this is the punishment of Eve from eating the apple. Like literally, like understand the crazy dichotomy that is in a conservative biblical theological mind. Like what they think about motherhood, how they try to sell it. For one thing, it's the greatest, but then the other end is like punishment. Eve's punishment. Since she is the mother all of humanity, all of you will be punished with labor pains.
Girl.
And so if you can't do that, you're less than a woman. Isn't that crazy? That's just crazy. So Serena also taking a fiber course.
When you need mobile coverage, Cox Mobile is right there with you.
Make sure your home is clean. I'll take your fiber, baby. So she represents this kind of she also, because she represents that, her obsession with that, it makes me think about that. But she also represents, like, there is a clear correlation between the reproductive rights of like slaves and shit. Because like she's literally about to make this girl have a baby and take her as her own. To pretend that this is her baby and literally using, because you can't have no kids, you literally using my body for the benefit of and forcing me to do it. That is crazy. They were supposed to give me some boba. They didn't give me no boba today. Boba. And last but not least, okay, as we get to the later seasons, there's like, which is what we were talking about other, like, who was it? Was it RL? Who said that, or who said that they wanted Serena to be a slave? Somebody said they wanted Serena to be a slave. Tashawn said I need to leave this guy. Yes, Tashawn said. Tashawn said, yeah, because this is another problem. So, which is why I said last season 5, she got gas. Like it was they were there was some kind of redemptive thing that they were trying to do with them. Like there was like a redemption that was just a reckoning. I need a reckoning for Serena. No fucking redemption. She needs a reckoning. And so I feel like because they are kind of desperate towards this redemption for Serena through her moments of regret, through her love of Nicole, the baby, Um, and then her eventual like defiance of Gilead. So they're using these moments of redemption with her, where no, yeah, y'all trying to gesture towards redemption, but there needs to be a reckoning. I want Serena sliding down the wall, no hope, only despair. See, that's what I feel like is happening in season 5. But they're doing again. I guess June telling her you gotta be like Vidya. And when she saw Ina came out on top, maybe you can come out top. So that is a little bit of hope. I wanted to be no hope. Yeah, I need no hope, baby. And so but yeah, there's like this redemption that they are having. I don't like that. What I want you to understand, why I say having a redemption without reckoning, I don't want y'all to confuse while watching the show. I don't want y'all to confuse emotional vulnerability with accountability. So, her being emotionally vulnerable because she's being harmed by the system that she helped create, I don't give a fuck about this. I don't care. I want you accountable. And you getting harmed, getting your little finger cut off, getting harmed, but you're still playing the game. It doesn't make me feel good about it. Like it's not any kind of period. So it doesn't make me feel good about you. It doesn't. I don't care. There's still no accountability. You getting more out of a system that you created. As a black woman, a black trans woman, I know how the system works. So you get more out. It kind of make me feel about these Latino immigrants. It makes me feel about the white women who are getting killed by, not killed, but who are getting wore out by the doctors because they having these bad atopic pregnancies, and damn, they're losing their lives, and they're losing, you know what I'm saying? They're not being able to have no children because the doctor ain't doing no appointments, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, this is what's going on.
I need you to stay together. Go to the bank, take a left on Railroad Boulevard, and duck down the alley to the right.
They're locking me up in the door.
Go, 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 go!
Oh my God, the detention centers with no food and water.
Keep
Do
going
I
down the
feel
alley.
bad? Do I think what they're doing is wrong? Yeah. Do I feel bad for them? That's the thing. Do I think what they're doing is wrong? Yes.
You don't want to get
Clear
surrounded.
yes. But you people that voted for him, if you voted for him, I'm gonna say, oh my God, I just so lucky. I wish I was getting what I was getting with people. That's what I think. The Cubans that's getting deported in Florida.
All right, now you're going across the road to the next alley.
Get sent to Alcalá prison.
Now, make a play for the bikes. They're up ahead where you stashed them behind that apartment building. We left
Now
some
this ain't the
money
same thing, but get arrested. The motherfuckers that getting
No!
they were very adamant in speaking up against Kamala Harris to get people not to go vote for her. You thought Trump was gonna be different? You thought Trump was gonna be better?
When work's underway, play Red Bull Buzzing Through the Workday. Keep your eyes on the clock, and when the countdown reaches 0, hit the buzzer to get Red Bull delivered straight to your door. Tap now to buzz in. Red Bull gives you wings.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep me running, everything would suddenly stop. I'm Matt in your industry. Ranger's here for you. Professional grade supplies. On Ranger.com or just stop by. Ranger for the ones who get it done.
When we told you, baby, we not voting because we agree with Kamala. We're voting just for Kamala because she's a better, she's the easier dragon to slay. I talked about this on one of my episodes before the election. You got, it's like you playing a video game, right? You play video games, so they tell you to go get this little thing, and it'll weaken the dragon, or this one little thing that if you come to it without the thing, then boom, you gotta bring that dragon with fire, this got ice, this got poison. They coming at you, you gotta fight hard out. But if you go get this little thing, this little bracelet, as soon as you come in the dungeon, you get a dragon, this bracelet, boom, heals one hit. And so now you got a two-headed dragon, one that's doing ice, and one that's doing some poison, or whatever one dies. So now you have made it an easier fight. It's still a dragon you gotta fight. When it comes to this particular issue, it's still a dragon you gotta fight. When we talk about colonization and what's happening over in Israel against Palestine, we understand. We are Americans, so we are on the side of the oppressor. So if we're trying to stop the U.S. from doing what they're doing over there in Israel, Palestine, we can't do it. It's the easier person to move would have been Kamala, not Donald Trump. They both gonna be doing like you. But the easier, reasonable person to fucking move, if we're gonna move anyhow, whether it's fire or not, it's gonna be her. Now, like all kinds of that, it's all kinds of stuff. And so your ass was out here talking against her during an election. Did that help? Where are you people? Where are you pro-Palestine people? I'm pro-Palestine. But I knew that she would have been a better, that I know that I'm going to be either way. But I'd much rather fight against the Republican administration against the Democratic administration than the Republican administration. Because they're going to be doing all kind of other things. Like dismantling the Department of Education. I know Democrats weren't going to be doing it. They would have just been wearing it. Or whatever stuff they do. But now that we're not going to so now, have you heard anything about Palestine?
So, how many dye packs gone off in the bags?
Where every people getting fired from jobs. Like, he ain't nobody talking about no. Are they still getting more out? They still over there getting pregnant? Give them their land? Yup. Imagine you voted for the person to get fired. Imagine you vote for the president. Such no veteran being before. And you an old white veteran. A veteran Republican. Do I feel sorry for you now? Is it wrong? Yes. But I don't feel sorry for you. I wish I was doing what I voted for. So, anyway. So, I need to be there because we love the kind of people their alignment, like, oh my God, they're having so hard, it's so difficult in their position. We love to romanticize their situation. But that complexity, we never give to color. But black women particularly. We don't ever give, they just kind of just like, our era in making these bad decisions, in making decisions. So think about women who this ain't got nothing to do with it, but time. And I want to talk about this another time, but I'm gonna bring it up. Like, have y'all heard about the little basketball player who, this is not true, but this
Okay,
is
you're
women
coming
who
into
have
Chiliad State
where
Park.
he's
We're
talking,
almost
he's
at us.
offering
Almost. Keep
paying
following your
child support
GPS.
up
It'll
front
direct you
for
through the
8
forest,
years from the
around the
state, so
hills,
he don't
toward
have
the
nothing to do with
canyon.
the state. And everybody is dragging the girl because, oh, she's a gold digger. Y'all done heard that story? The little group of girls that make the babies out of school. One is a rapper and one is a baby. So,
Okay, now this next bit's gonna sound crazy, but crazy's often what gets you into trouble. You're coming up to a rickety old
regardless
bridge.
of how
Folks
you
aim
think
for the cliff
about
and drive right off. Then pull your parachute and get the boat delivery in the river. That's your way out. But come to think of it, passwords just before you jump might be the best way to get away from the cliff.
20% off with code U20.
As soon as you're airborne, get your bikes and start gliding. That's easy, right? Coming from a
regardless
guy
of how you think
who walks through the caves.
I think one of the stories is he paid for her an abortion. She didn't get the abortion. She was making the decision to have the baby because college was so she gets to change her mind about her body. Um, when since you don't carry the babies, your decision making starts
You see that boat in the
into a
creek?
vaginal
That's where
wall.
you're
You
aiming.
decide to come in it, and you decide to bust a nut in it without a condom. You decide right at that moment that whatever the consequences are of you choosing this, you are ready for those consequences. Whether it be getting scammed by Google, whether it be stuck in a relationship with a child that you don't want, or having to make the decision to abandon a child that you don't want, whatever can happen once the baby is conceived because you made the choice to put your dick in a vagina, because this is the element. It's not about her not being a child. If I want to talk to her about her choice, talk to her. But at the end of the day, it takes two people to tango, and you women and all of have been using babies as power for money and power all the time. Think of the Boleyn sisters, Elizabeth's mama, and Boleyn. Women have been using their coochies for power, especially in the time of the they've been using making babies in coochie to get a leg up in society or to get in a position of power forever. It's not new, it's not fresh, and as you as a celebrity and as a basketball, you know going into the game that this is what women are gonna be after, and you love it until they love having access to these bitches. With the money, when they get the money, they love having access to it brings the bitches to them. But when the bitches is coming after the money, all of a sudden it's a problem. When you want to use money to get women, it's not a problem. But when the women is like, I want to get money out of you, now it's like, oh my God.
Nope.
Even though that has been a part of the game, being a rich man or a man with resources, that is a part of the game. That everybody warns you about, tells you about, you know it's happening. raw dogging pretty girls who know you got money. And she already got a rich baby dad. And you want me to take you off the accountability line in your decision-making scheme. Sorry, guys, I can't do it.
Use the bikes to get away from the cops and to get upstate. We left the dinghy in Red
Can't do it.
That's your exit plan. There's a
But
road coming to your GPS now.
we don't give that same grace to black women. Of using their body to make power moves. And power moves then have changed my life. First baby, I now have a basketball player for the game. And I'm using this money that I'm getting from other niggas to open up businesses. That's what she's doing. So, I creating broken home. This fuck you. We can I can buy my baby therapy. But you know what my baby will have? I'll wait for this money for therapy if this gonna be a thing. Or I can give you a whole plan. Because now I have to like he got that down. Of what I position myself, like two other people, get a clap down. Talk about if I'm digging for gold, what you digging for both that down? So for me, I think we don't give those type of women who play the game, that those hyper, I think it's called dark. That kind of Cuba standards of the world who is teaching women how to play the game. It's a dangerous game because, honey, it can be a golden cage. But for many, it does work out playing the game.
That means the transponders worked. Thank you, Avi Schwartzman.
And sometimes I think ethics can put people, can stop people from marrying. And sometimes people say, fuck some ethics. Let me get on top of it when I'm sick. They have people that talk to rookies about this. Yes. They get a warning all the time. Go. So somebody like Serena, a white woman, with granted depth and nuance that is rarely afforded to black people. The women, like we suffer the most in the system that we are in, but it's usually the white woman with their elegance, with the fears, even with her contradiction. All that, the fears, the elegance, her trying to be presentable all the time, they use that when it comes to white womanhood in the patriarchal world. They use those things to humanize them. But it's almost like because you ain't got no accountability. Are you really doing it? Like, yeah, you're giving me these ears, Serena. Yeah, you're giving me this elegance and this feet, this solidity here. I live in. Because to bring down and to bring in hope and she's coming and giving this elegance and this kind of level of sophistication. You know, I'm a church girl at heart, so I love earthquake moments with this great elegance and just great and regal that is something that I'm always listening for the rest of my life. I think it's a residual of courtesy. So I always respect the not woman, lady, that kind of sophistication. elegant, upscale woman. That lady is something that I like to be. It is something that all of them, and it's something that kind of just ingrained in my head. And so, somebody like Rita, who is this lady, the lady in it, is humanized with Alani. Yes. Yes. I'm like, yes. I love Lisa Marcelo Obama. The first lady. That motherfucker was lady in Melania. My type of beat. Oh my God. Melania be kicking. Melania be kicking. When she came with that motherfucker, baby blue on, in the first of the collection, that baby blue. I love Marcelo Obama's back in the second term. And she was able to, she was going to go get another term. She was able to let loose to do whatever. She already got the that first 4 years, like, okay. But that second, where she was in the gold, and Michelle ate that second. Melania in the baby blue outfit for the bitch. Oh, let's get out of here with the love and the cake and the red bottom cake. Melania.
Wait till the whole team is in the boat and then head out into the ocean.
Oh. You brought the sunshine. You brought the sunshine.
There's a lot of confused voices coming out of my police scanner right now. You know what?
Melania fashion.
Maybe I am a genius after all.
I hope soon as she's done that. Beats. Eat it. Anybody who knows me know I love the look.
Oh, my friends! We did it!
Anybody who knows me know I love
You did it. I know I didn't do that much.
Give me a first lady look.
Oh, you! You know, I thought you were just a bunch of creepy and quiet weirdos. Turns out you're a bunch of creepy, quiet weirdos.
That's Farm Rio.
You
I have one of those
rob
dresses.
and you steal and
Look
destroy like geniuses. Oh, I love it. I love it. Here, let me wire you your money. You know, I will never forget the good times. All the
she looks
laughs we had.
she just
like
anyway.
family.
Weird.
The
I'm about to,
picnic.
y'all got me here.
And the hike in the woods. And
living for
all the
another
selfies. And, and the time.
But I do like her fashion.
Sunset, and we stayed up all night talking and sharing our innermost fears. And then, that wasn't you? Even the skinny dipping and the...
With the leather and leather print shoes and the fucking
the drugs. Oh man, the drugs.
Birkin?
I am a heavily medicated man. I'm not well at all. I'm embarrassed. Okay, the money here and here and here and here. Okay, you better take off and take care. Okay. Bye bye.
I just listen. I just can't. Oh, the white. Oh, white. Oh. That, oh God. That, oh, that baby sick. The blue, the red, oh, the fuchsia and the yellow. With the fuchsia arms, the yellow jacket, and the fuchsia pumps. Yes. I mean, baby. I don't care. You know, y'all know I don't like no motherfucking Trump, baby. I mean, she comes with a look, baby. If you take away her being Trump's wife and just go by the fashion, she almost give you a nasty Meghan Markle. Because Meghan Markle will butt you out of look too. But, you know, definitely she's my favorite. She's my, you know, guilty pleasure of fashion first lady. But anyway, so all right, let me go. So my last part is, I guess what Serena represents is not just like a victim or villain in the show. To me, she is to me she's the most glaring personification of white womanhood as a political tool. How many times a day, not only is she doing it to herself, but the men, in how every season they parade Serena out for whatever reason as a model womanhood, model of woman, model of virtue. And even remember when her and Fred went to Canada to visit.
Hey, those hair.
Model of womanhood. You see what I'm
What you
saying?
mean, those hair?
As a political tool against the people they are oppressing. You see what I'm saying? They're using Serena as this political tool. And even when she has the baby, and they say, well, we can't bring you back to give
They
Gilead.
look nice. Oh, thank you. I appreciate
You know what I'm
it.
saying? We can't bring you back to Gilead, but we can have you stay there and be a fertility fucking beacon of light to get people to come over to the side of Gilead. You see what I'm saying? Are y'all following me? Like they use her as a political tool all the time. But it's not just them using her. It's her being
Where you been at, Dano?
used as a political tool. Look at what she did when she forced them to give the commander, when he died, to give the commander that kind of pomp and circumstance moment of celebrating his death. Not celebrating his death, but honoring his death. And so they do this big televised thing. Now she's weaponized. It's used as a political tool, but she's also weaponizing it against June. Remember when she had her baby girl coming in the purple, come and give her that fucking thing on national TV, and June was sitting there with her daddy, and look up at the TV, and here this bitch is with a black veil on, and my daughter giving her fucking flowers. That was a gag. That, to me, that was Serena's circus. That was like, oh. That was her moment where she gagged him. Baby, I was like, oh, baby. But that was her using her position as white woman. I'm in mourning of my husband being murdered. My wife weaponizing my white woman's vulnerability. My wife, but it's monstrous. Like I don't want you to ignore that. This is a monster. This is using her femininity as the veneer, but it is rotten at its core. Okay? It's like my femininity and my core. Oh my God. But that is just a veneer. She is a demon. You see what I'm saying? This is why we want a reckoning and not a redemption. We want a reckoning because you knew what you were doing. This was and June as a hero. But what about the people that you are literally using as pawns? This little girl, her daughter, that Hannah, she's trying to say, you know what she's going to do, what she's going to be, the type she's about to be. She's trained to be a wife.
I'll keep your mentor natural. No
Yeah, lol. What does that mean? Yeah, lol.
So every time you go, you'll know your shit don't stay. World's best cat for
Will never be the same. Welcome to the theme parks of Universal Orlando Resort. With spectacular hotels and more, Universal Orlando offers an entire week of vacation awesome. Visit universalorlando.com.
And we know what they did to the wives. We know what they do to wives. We know what they do to young girl wives. We learned with Esther Keys, the YP's wives, Commander Keys' wife. We learned from her what they do to young girl wives, and rape them and put them and let the other commanders come and do stuff to them. Do you see what I'm saying? Like she knows that this happens, but all at the same time, she's positioning herself as this widow, this sad, vulnerable, sad white beacon of femininity. I hate. And to me, her story is the lesson you need to learn, which is why she needs a reckoning. And if they don't do that during this season, it's going to piss me off. She doesn't need she shouldn't get a redemptive arc if it is not a reckoning. Period. There needs to be a reckoning. There needs to be she needs to lose it all. And the redemption is that you gotta live with that you lost it all. Okay. All right, so that is Serena Joy. Yeah, I say why she is the lesson that people need to learn, because in this political climate, 50%, more than half of the white women are voting against women, their own interests in this country. They are voting Republican. And so the lesson that needs to be learned, imagine if white women just moved to 60 or 70%, it would change the dynamic of this country. Like just that means, just 60 to 70%. If everybody moved over 10%, just 10, but especially them, we will have so much power. And so ultimately, Serena Joy's story is a cautionary tale, not of what happens when women lose power, but of what happens when they pursue power by standing on the side of white men. Or on the side of patriarchy, in this case, white men, when they're standing on
Korea and others. And we did hear from Trump on Tuesday saying that he had, quote, a good call with the acting South Korean president, but he also had choice words for China. And I want to show you what he shared on his very own social media platform, Truth Social. This is what the U.S. president said in regards to China. He said, China also wants to make a deal badly, but they don't know how to get it started. We are waiting for their call. It will happen, exclamation point. But Chinese officials they're not taking it. In fact, they continue to reiterate the point that they will fight Trump's tariffs until the end. I want you to listen to this from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday.
I believe the actions of the U.S. do not reflect a genuine willingness for serious dialogue. If the U.S. disregards the interests of both countries and the international community and insists on waging a tariff war or trade war, China will fight to the end.
China is rejecting Trump's tariffs and looking at the markets this day, investors as well. John, back to you.
Yeah, that's part of that support for the economy, the local economy that they've been implementing. Christy, thanks so much for being with us. Please live for us. Go to the US West Coast now, and Yan Liang joins us from Portland, Oregon. Professor Liang specializes in the international economy as well as the political economy of China. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, John.
Okay, so more than a week now, Beijing has described Trump's tariffs with words like bullying and blackmail, and again Tuesday warned the US that fight to the end. Here's a spokesperson for China's foreign ministry.
This is a typical example of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying, and has been widely opposed by the international community. China strongly condemns and firmly opposes such actions. If it persists in disregarding the common interest of both countries and the international community and insists on escalating the trade and tariff conflict, China will, as always, fight to the end.
Have those words backed China into a corner? If they were to be in talks of some kind of trade deal, would they be seen, the government seen as giving into a bullet?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think from China's point of view, this is unilateralism, this is about bullying, and China doesn't make any concession. This is only to just trigger further aggression. Not to mention now, I think the trust level is very, very low. So what China would give doesn't necessarily, would help China to get out of the tariff war. So I think by their calculation, for one, is yes, China is going to get a demand shock from the U.S.'s tariff, but the United States will also suffer really consequential, losses in the markets, both from the demand side, but also from the supply side. And also, both countries don't have the same degree of resilience in terms of the domestic political economic pressures for the leaders to back down. So I think in Beijing's calculation, there's only one way, which is to up the escalation, right, to retaliate. And so I think it's very difficult for both countries now to kind of back down. And so it remains to be seen. Trump definitely wanted to play this sort of, chicken game, right, to see who believes first. And he believes he has all the cards. But I think it really remains to be seen how much longer he's able to hold up with all the pressures mounting.
So to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
That is not without controversy in China. Many have been offended. And right now, price increases from tariffs will determine what products Chinese consumers buy or don't buy. Essentially, it's market forces. But do comments like the ones we just heard have a potential to nationalize this dispute? And buying US-based goods is seen as being anti-China.
Right. I think, first of all, anyone who listens to this very racist comment have the right to be angry, right? And I think definitely this hurts the Chinese pride, and I definitely think that, this also in some ways really distorted the facts. The fact is that the U.S., by issuing the reserve currency, the dollar, that the rest of the world desires, and they're enjoying exorbitant privilege, right? That they're enjoying $1 trillion of trade deficit means that countries are sending their goods and services to the United States. And so I think it's a complete distortion of the facts that they've been saying this in such an arrogant way as well, and racist way. Now, I think for China, I definitely think that there will be some kinds of boycott, right, of the U.S. products. Not to mention, Chinese products in Chinese market now, the U.S. products in Chinese market now are gradually, I think, losing the kinds of preference from the consumers, right? From iPhone, from cars, you name it. I think this will create some balances for, the U.S. multinational companies. A lot of them still rely on the Chinese market, ranging from McDonald's or Starbucks or EV, Tesla. So I think this is going to hurt the U.S.'s corporations' bottom line.
And just very quickly, we're now having word from the Commerce Secretary that 70 countries now want to negotiate a new deal. The quickest the U.S. has ever negotiated a free trade deal was 4 months with Jordan. The deal was then implemented in a year and a half after that. On average, it takes somewhere between 18 months and 2 years. So if dozens of countries now want to deal, how long is it going to take?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. But I also wanted to know what exactly, Trump's end game is, right? So he is raising the tariff rate for countries like, Vietnam to 46% and others 44%. Many of the Asian countries are hardest hit, despite the fact that, for a country like South Korea, they have free trade agreement with the United States. Their average tariff rate outside of the agricultural products is about 2.5%, and yet they're being left to 25%. So even all the countries are willing to drop their tariff rate to zero, it's very doubtful that this is going to really reduce the U.S.'s trade deficit with these countries. EU has also proposed that both countries or both parties would lower the tariff rate to zero, but Trump rejected that. So I think it's very difficult to know at this point exactly what Donald Trump wants. So maybe what he really wants is, as he mentioned, right, just to see the countries kowtow to him. But it's also doubtful, if he does put a pause, it would be because of domestic economic pressure instead of the concessions that countries made.
Firstly, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate your time and insights. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, negotiators from South Korea are now traveling to Washington after the White House confirmed trade talks with both South Korea and Japan are set to begin. Two U.S. allies given priority over other trading partners. President Trump says he had a great conversation by phone Tuesday with South Korea's acting president. He seems optimistic about reaching an agreement. During an exclusive interview with CNN's Mike Valerio, South Korean leader Han Duck-soo believes he can do what no world leader has done so far, convince Donald Trump to drop the tariffs.
As China's Xi Jinping strikes back against steep U.S. tariffs, vowing to fight them eye for an eye.
So good.
South Korea's leader says in an exclusive interview with CNN, he is looking for a deal.
Acting President Han, what is your message to President Trump?
First of all, we will cooperate with the United States and President Trump to make sure that we can find some of the solutions, to arrive at the win-win situation.
Han Duck-soo, South Korea's head of state, says cooperation and negotiation, not confrontation, will be South Korea's playbook. A strategy, he says, driven by deep ties to the U.S. forged during the Korean War. Today, nearly 30,000 U.S. troops are still stationed in South Korea. And he's betting friends with this much history can talk this through.
You do anticipate that this 25% tariff level will not stay. That's your anticipation.
Yeah, depending on the negotiations.
25% though, that's pretty steep for friends for generations.
Well, it's a pity because we are evaluated in that way. But I think that kind of different assessment can always happen in this kind of situation.
South Korea's auto industry is a success story in part because of tariffs. Seoul National University economics professor Lee Kyung writing, South Korea's high tariffs on imported cars protected Hyundai, helping it to grow into a global powerhouse exporter. In this tariff trade war, economists fear parts and products from South Korea could skyrocket in price, harming jobs and assembly lines on both sides of the Pacific. Han remains optimistic, speaking with U.S. President Donald Trump for the first time in a phone call Tuesday morning. President Trump echoing the enthusiasm for now. Posting on Truth Social, the two leaders had a, quote, great call, and, quote, we have the confines and probability of a great deal for both countries, Trump wrote.
I think if we really try to work very hard and, exchange our informations on interpreting and assessing in a right way, in this case with the United States, I think the situations can be improved.
Mike Valerio, CNN, Seoul.
Still ahead here on CNN, how did it happen? What caused the collapse of a roof of an iconic nightclub in the Dominican Republic, leaving dozens dead? More.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. Back pain, stress, and serious health risks can build up from sitting too long. But motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented Rock Perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
From soothing babies to helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives. Sitting is the new smoking. A sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to just stay in that same position. And that's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion constantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time, but with Ready Rocker, I felt relief, and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while rocking. My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful.
Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 40% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus smart strap to secure your Ready Rocker and the Ready Rocker protective cover.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-774-1914 or go to buyreadyrocker.com. That's 1-800-774-1914 or go to buyreadyrocker.com. Call now.
Everyday life is filled with everyday messes. You need a vacuum, sweeper, and rags to clean up spills big and small. But now there's an easier way to clean it all. Introducing Ruvio, the powerful cordless hand vac you can take anywhere for quick pickups.
And some Rubio.
My kids can even grab it and they can clean up their own messes. We use it every
The side of white men while standing on the back of other women. This is a cautionary tale. This is the lesson you hoes need to learn. So that's why Serena Joy is one of my favorite characters on the show, because that is the lesson these bitches need to learn, y'all. That is the lesson of this, to me, of this whole show. So my next one, who else did y'all say y'all think that was mine? So we got Serena Joy. Who else did y'all think was my favorite? Somebody said June. June is not. So kick her out. Who else? So somebody said Aunt Lydia. She is not. So let's go to
With over 1 million satisfied customers, visit LegacyBox.com.
who else is one of my favorites, because I also think this is a lesson. This is the male version of Serena Joy. Who is the male version of Serena Joy? Don't say Fred. Because Fred didn't learn no lessons, child. Fred was a patriarch. He wasn't. There was no complication in Fred. Very little, if any. So it's not Fred. Who is the male version of Serena Joy in the story of learning a complicated lesson about patriarchy? Who is the male version of her? Very similar, not exactly story arc, but very similar situation. But Brandon says Nick. Who else? Anybody else? The male version of Serena. Brandon, who else is if you didn't say Nick, who else? Boom. Trishawn, Commander Lawrence. Absolutely. That's my second. I'm gonna do three. That is my second favorite character because he is a male version of Serena. So let's go to
ask for information. This Jet Set nightclub was an institution here in Santo Domingo. Among the victims, unfortunately and tragically, are politicians, former baseball players, friends, family, relatives, and this is why it is a tragedy that is really going deep, hitting the soul of this nation. For CNN, this is Stefano Pozzebon, Santo Domingo.
And still to come here on CNN, amid the global economic turmoil sparked by Trump's tariffs, the U.S.
Commander Lawrence knows. All right. So Commander Lawrence is one of the most, he's one of those complex characters, all right? So he exists in the contradiction of space, similar to Serena Joy, embodying he's like the architect. He is like the machine, the oil, the cog, the machine of how Gilead works, how white supremacy in this dystopian works, where he is displaying throughout the show, he is displaying this kind of moral ambiguity and resistance. He's not only like a symbol of patriarchal power, but he is also how like his character represents the moral evasion and selective guilt often found in complicit white males within a system of oppression. So them poor white males or them males who are kind of just complacent, like I may not be as bad as Commander Putnam. I'm not cheating on my wife, taking women to the Jezebel house. I'm actually faithful to my wife. And I feel bad because my wife didn't want this. My wife doesn't want this. Like my wife, actually my love for my wife has been, my wife's love for me has been tarnished because of what I created here. And I feel guilty about it, but I'm still playing along with the thing. So that kind of selective guilt. So do you see what I'm saying? Like you too, just like Joy, just like Serena Joy, you too are in this place of complacency. It's selective when you get guilt. Yeah, it's selective when you get to play with the guilt of patriarchy. Selective when you sometimes it's like I ain't got no morals, baby. Just like remember when he told June, I try to make it better the best way that I can, and this is how I work it out. So you think it's easy? Here you go. I'm gonna give you a file of bitches. You only can save 5 of them. And you have to save the best. Who are you gonna save? And June, June was like, I'm not choosing, blah, blah, blah. Then they all died. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Come on. Let's go see him. Let's go to the cages. You can't save them all. I've tried to make this decision. I can't. So, you get to choose. Good luck. ball is already rolling. The monster is already here. Frankenstein has already been created. When I look at the moral, the moral lesson should have, I couldn't learn it until it was already here. I thought that I was saving the world. I thought that I was doing right by creating a place where we can thrive. But I didn't really think about the moral cost because I thought I was saving humanity. And I want y'all to understand, in the real world, some of these Christian fundamentalists think that they're white Christian fundamentalists think that they are saving white manhood. We came over here from Europe and created this whole land. Regardless of the right and wrong of it, because clearly we don't care. Not us, but them. Clearly we don't care. But y'all are coming over here trying to stomp us out. And we built this motherfucker. And you think we're not going to give it up without a fight? Like they think it's their moral duty. They think it's their moral duty. Activities. So I just saved a video about this. Activity. There was this episode of this woman. She was talking about
homosexuality that only sin y'all focus on.
Because by deeming one sin worse than all the others, they get to ignore the plank in their own eye.
No, not that one. There's another one. It was about religion. Is this the one? Yes.
The creator has talked about that there's a Republican Jesus and a Democrat Jesus, and I want to expand on what she said because I loved it. First of all, it's no-nonsense spirituality, and I'll tag her below. She's amazing.
They stopped him en route. But within 24 hours, another...
Love the way her brain thinks. As someone who has a degree in biblical studies, you need to know that you can make the Bible say whatever you want to say, and the proof of that is in the fact that we have hundreds of different denominations in our country. And that's how we have a Republican Jesus and a Democrat Jesus. For someone who is Republican, they see Jesus as a champion for moral order, personal responsibility, and national loyalty. They align with values like authority, purity, tradition, and loyalty. They use scriptures like Psalm 33:12, which says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." 2 Thessalonians 3:10, which says, "If a man will not work, he shall not eat." And Matthew 10:34, which says, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." To them, Jesus is the protector of God's ordained order. So they're opposed to government welfare.
And they're at the top.
Should take care of the poor, not the government. They have strong support for nationalism and border security because they think protecting their country is their moral duty.
Hold on. Once I hear that.
And Matthew 10:34, which says, "Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." To them, Jesus is the protector of God's ordained order. So they're opposed to government welfare because the church should take care of the poor, not the government.
But they don't.
Strong support for nationalism and border security because they think protecting their country is their moral duty. And they're resistant to any of the LGBTQ rights because they believe that God only created male and female. Now, I know they believe these things because I used to be a Christian nationalist, and I believe those things too. Now, for the Democrats, Jesus is viewed as a revolutionary figure who opposed the powerful and prioritized the marginalized. When they look at scriptures, they look for scriptures that align with their values, like compassion, justice, inclusion, and equality. They talk about verses like Luke 18:22, which says, Sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasures in heaven. Or Matthew 5:9, which says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Or Matthew 25:40, which says, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. That causes them to support universal health care, because Jesus healed the sick for free. Economic reform, because Jesus warned that wealth can lead you astray. And they support immigrant rights, because Jesus was a refugee in Egypt. And they support LGBTQ and inclusion, because Jesus never condemned homosexuality. Instead, he focused on acceptance and love. Now, both of these versions of Jesus can be proven in Scripture, just like no-nonsense spirituality pointed out. And she says, the truth is we will never know, because Jesus never wrote anything down. The first stories we have written about Jesus was written 30 to 50 years after his death. Now, as a biblical scholar, I have a strong opinion about which Jesus is correct. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear that. Otherwise, this is some great food for thought.
That is, I want to give her credit. Hope underscore with underscore. So I thought that was, she brilliantly pointed that out, because a lot of times we forget that we're not talking about the same Jesus, y'all. When we think about these people being religious, we are not on the same page when it comes to how we think about theology and moral compass. We are not on the same page. Jesus is different for them. Jesus, in their mind, they are trying to protect white manhood. That's why their Jesus is white with blue eyes. That he's the symbol of they think they are the chosen one. And so they are protecting, it's their job to protect that. First. It is her job to protect her family, to protect her bloodline, to ruthlessly protect their way of life. Okay, back to Commander Lawrence. So, to me, Commander Lawrence represents the white liberal patriarch who benefits from the system of oppression while attempting to distance himself from the brutal outcome. Watch that. I want y'all to pay attention. So, think about how he works. We have a bunch of liberal, I'm a feminist, I have my wife, we talk about liberal patriarchs. Not the, what's the Graham dude? Something, Minister Graham, Billy Graham, some shit. Not, we talk about the liberal ones, the niggas on our side. Black males, liberal patriarchs. Dr. Umar Johnson, liberal patriarch. Now, this was white, but we talk about the patriarchs who they try to not think that they are connected to this white supremacy oppression, but they are, because typical patriarchy is rooted in white supremacy. So if you are trying to be a patriarch and you are a black male, you are a liberal patriarch. If you are misogynist and think that a woman's place is lower than a man, you are a liberal patriarch. Even if you gay. Clock that T. Clock that T. Even if you're not fucking women and you think women are lower than men, just for being a woman, you are a liberal patriarch. You just don't have sex with them. Clock that T, y'all. Clock it. That's why you see these misogynist gay men that be like, but they'll be, honey. As soon as they get mad, they call you bitches and talking about your pussy steak and fish and all that. All this typical man misogynist stuff. Lock that T. Lock it. It's not just a straight. So I wanted to point that out. But it's not just the white. Now, we talking about a white liberal patriarch, but I'm just pointing these things out so y'all know that is not just the white man. All types of men. We're going to get on we already got on the women, the fake women. The women. Because Serena represents the white woman femininity, but it's also some black women who uphold patriarchy. Those first ladies of the church, the women that shame you, that says it's your fault for getting raped if you dressed a certain way. Those women are upholding patriarchy. So we already talked about them. So that's why we're just talking about the men right now with Commander Lawrence. So yes, he is a liberal patriarch who benefits from the system of oppression while trying to attempt to distance himself from the brutal parts. He helped design Gilead. So you design this world that is steeped in white supremacy, steeped in patriarchy ideology. Yet you kind of express this disdain and discomfort when confronted by the people who are suffering from its causes. Like when June is pointing to you how ugly it is out here, bitch, that you created, you kind of like you want to turn a blind eye and put it back on her. I just talked about it. He's like, what would you do in my situation, bitch? I wouldn't have created this motherfucker in the first place. And to me, Lawrence, when we are talking about Commander Lawrence, to me, his detachment, when he's detaching himself from the harms of the system, he is reflecting, it parallels elites. On the liberal side, we're not talking about the delusion right wing. We talk about the liberal side, the Hollywood males, the side of that they voted for Hillary and Kamala, the Bernie Bros, the left males. They may acknowledge the system and in its injustice. You know, they like, oh, we know that capitalism is bad. We know that the government is taking our taxes and dicking us down, and inflation is bad, and blah 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 blah. Highway robbery. They know how to talk about being anti-government and anti-capitalist, da 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 da. Yet they fail to do anything meaningful to dismantle it. Particularly when their own comfort or safety is at stake. They don't do anything. Let me see, damn, she's spot on about Republican Jesus. I want to hear which one she.
Okay, that's awesome. The more important thing is, though, are you winning?
You got the location? That's where our guys slipped a frickin' prison bus. Not the first time Markel's jumped bail or bust out of jail. With his seat, he should have been strapped to a gurney with the dog muzzle on. The manhunt is gonna be all over Weasel News, but if we get in there first, we can make a fortune selling him back to the authorities.
We did it, Joe. We did it.
Is correct before I sign.
Another kid, this time just 14 years old, is dispatched.
2 nights, both Tuesday and Wednesday, an absolute feast of European.
London.
We'll end up here with the fun.
Abdul, leaders of 2 rival Swedish gangs, Foxtrot and Rumba. Both are wanted by Interpol. Christopher Bowman spent 20 years investigating organised crime for Swedish police and says the involvement of foreign state actors complicates the picture.
Now it's transformed to be global. You have people sitting in other countries dictating the crime. They are sending messages to Sweden, kill that one, and so on. It's easier when you have the gangs, you have the people on one place. Now everything is global and everything is also digital.
Social media is indeed key. We found dozens of messages online offering kids money for violent crimes. Skull emojis indicating a killing, dollar emojis indicating payment. The gamification of gang warfare. But it has very real consequences. In a cemetery on the outskirts of Stockholm, the latest children's graves. A stark reminder of the ultimate cost young people pay for gang violence. Groomed to service Swedish gangs. Now, authorities say, exploited by Iran. It is vulnerable children at the heart of Iran's shadow war with Israel. Katie Polglaze, CNN, Stockholm, Sweden.
Since airing and posting the story online, the Iranian authorities have responded, saying they firmly reject involvement in such actions, adding that no substantial proof had been provided. He also claimed the Zionist regime and anti-Iranian circles were behind the accusations, which aim to tarnish Iran's foreign relations, especially with Europe. Two Chinese nationals fighting in the Russian army have been captured in the Donetsk region in eastern Ukraine, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He says they were carrying documents, personal data, and bank cards confirming the Chinese nationality, and the president says he's waiting now for an explanation from Beijing.
We really hope that after this situation, the Americans will talk more with the Ukrainians and then the Russians. We really hope that the Chinese side will also react. I have instructed the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Defense to contact the Chinese counterparts so that they can give us an explanation for those actions.
In January, Ukrainian troops captured two North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region of Russia. Moscow has been increasingly relying on its defense relationship with Pyongyang in its conflict with Ukraine. Well, when we come back, the latest on Prince Harry's fight against the British government's decision to downgrade his taxpayer-funded security. More on that in a moment.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. Back pain, stress.
Baby, I'm just shooting the fucking moves.
Build up from sitting too long, but motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented Rock Perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
From soothing babies to helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives.
Sitting is the new smoking. A sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to just stay in that same position. And that's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion constantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time, but with Ready Rocker, I felt relief, and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while rocking. My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful.
Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 40% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus smart strap to secure your Ready Rocker and the Ready Rocker protective cover.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-774-1914 or go to buyreadyrocker.com. That's 1-800-774-1914 or go to buyreadyrocker.com. Call now.
Are you still cleaning your floors with a broom and dustpan?
Or down on your hands and knees with paper towels?
Or dragging out your big heavy vacuum?
Forget about it! Join Mary Beth back with another incredible invention.
It's the Zippy Sweeper, the rechargeable cordless sweeper that's lightweight and compact, with an advanced triangular design that gets into corners and features 360-degree omnidirectional cleaning.
It cleans any mess on carpets, hard floors, even long baseboards, in any direction.
Watch this. It cleans dirt and dust.
All of her hair.
And his trail of messy little crumbs.
It cleans up wet vegetables.
How about this confetti on the carpet?
How about this broken glass? The secret? Advanced tri-brush technology. There's a separate brush on each side of the unique triangular head. No matter which way you move the triangular cleaning head, the 3 high-speed spinning brushes will sweep every speck from your floor to the built-in quick-release dirt tray.
Ordinary vacuums can miss messes in corners, but not the Zippy Sweeper. Its triangular head and built-in spinning edge brush pull the dirt in corners where vacuums miss. With its swiveling head and super low profile design, you can clean under your furniture without moving it.
The Zippy cordless sweeper is 5 times lighter than an average vacuum cleaner, so it's great for cleaning the stairs. Zip into the future with Zippy Sweeper.
Call or go online and get the incredible Zippy Sweeper for just 2 payments of $79.99. But wait, if you call or go online right now, we'll make a payment for you. That's right, just pay $79.99. And that's not all. Call now and you can get a second Zippy Sweeper for 50% off and free shipping. But you have to call now.
Call 1-800-220-7024.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com.
Yes. Hey, Mr. C, how are you? They always thought it was the moral duty of cross-colonization efforts for the American Indians, and it all ever did was hurt people's backs. You're right. But that's the veneer. That goes back to where the white women is like the veneer is vulnerable, feminine, soft, and lady. The white man's is I'm trying to be masculine and strong and dominate. That is the definition of a man. We're American, and we are men, and we deserve this, and this is our right to explore and happiness and keep our land. So they took this land. It's crazy, insane. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So while we're talking about the left, not talking about the right, while they are acknowledging that there are systematic inequalities and they're not really doing anything to defend it. Okay? And so because they are not doing anything, so what he represents is like an oppressor with a conscience. They believe they're good guys. They straddle the fence. Yes, or they don't straddle the fence. Because I don't think he's straddling the fence. He is on the side of Gilead. But he thinks he's a good guy on the side of Gilead. I'm one of the good ones. I'm not a Commander Putnam.
I'm 35, and you?
I'm not them. I'm faithful to my wife. I'm following the rules. I'm not fucking the handmaid. You see what I'm saying? I'm adjusting the rules to where I'm not doing wrong. Clock that T. I'm not sleeping with the handmaids like the other people, so I'm not really my handmaid. She ain't getting raped. I'm faithful to my wife. I ain't taking no girl to the Jezebel house. Gotta adjust this shirt, child. Gotta go get this adjusted because she loves to give. Oh, look at these pants, y'all. I love these. Just gotta stand up so y'all can see. Stand on the couch. Look how cute these are. Yay! They're like really soft, like they're like soft. It's like silky satin, and they're like a cute, just pants. And I'm like, ooh, this is so cute. It's funny how my upper body be looking super, super fat, but when I stand up and put my whole body in it, you can really tell I done lost a lot of weight. But just like this, it's giving still thick mama. Anyway, I love these pants. But yes. So yes, he's a figure who he's this oppressor with a conscience. While he's this oppressor with a conscience, he also rationalizes the harm that he does through
being under more fraud investigations than I fruit.
Yo, talk to me. Killer Pie 007. What's good?
it. I don't like stealing. I just got myself in some shit here. Oh my god, please don't fucking kill me! You found her yet? She's in here somewhere. Damn it! Why'd she have to be in a masquerade with so many masks?
Wait, you're a real bounty hunter? Like, you're not on the wrong set or something? Really? You had to come get me on set?
Bring her back here. I'm gonna ask her to sign the cell wall. Just a little something to inspire our future bounties.
Oh, masquerade murder party had so much potential. Don't fuck! Oh, masquerade murder party had so much potential too. It made no sense, obviously, but my agent said none of the really artsy projects do. That's why they're the best fit for me. I'm not like deep or whatever. I can't go to real jail. Can I switch my thingy to house arrest, please?
Nice work, partner. I'm gonna try and get a selfie with her before she really starts crying and shit.
Yes, baby, I got to go. All right, y'all. Good night. See y'all later. Happy hump day. Oh, it's Wednesday. Have fun at school/work or even the gym or all of the above. See y'all later.